have to say it, this is my favorite side dish. Sorry, mac and cheese. This Southwest cream corn is so easy to make. It is packed with layers of flavor. If you make it as often as I do, all your friends are gonna start asking for it. Serve this alongside smoked chicken, brisket, tacos, or be impatient like me and just dive in with some tortilla chips. Dang it. Come on. I swear I know how to eat. Go watch the recipe. I'm gonna keep digging in. The recipe calls for 4 cups of corn, which is about 8 ears of corn. Could be even more if you're like me in Arizona and all of our corn kind of sucks. If you're using frozen corn, please make sure that you thaw it completely. If you don't, it ends up getting really gummy and this weird texture thing with all these different temperatures. It's just not good. Make sure it's thawed. All right, let's cut some corn. All right, so I like to get the corn on a baking sheet, and some people will invert the corn in like a bowl and cut it down, but I just like to do this, and I use a smaller knife. I just think that this is a lot safer than using like a giant knife. Just have better control, and then baking sheet kind of catches everything on here. I know, this is the exciting part, right? Can't wait to see all the comments critiquing how to take corn off of a cob. Now, I'm supposed to tell you that you need to keep your corn cobs for when you make stock, right? That's the chef thing to say. All right, so next we've got a poblano chili, and I know that this isn't typical for Mexican street food, but it tastes good, so we're going with it. Now, you can char this on the grill if you want to get that nice blistered skin like a lot of people do. They'll steam the skin right off, or you can just do this. Personally, since this is going to cook for a long time and get kind of soft, I actually enjoy the firmer texture of the poblano like this rather than the grilled one. And we're just gonna do a small dice. Does not need to be perfect. It's gonna kind of soften and meld into all those other flavors as it cooks slowly. So do your best. You might have your way of slicing it. This is how I do it. Totally works for me. And there we go. And then 3 cloves of garlic, or just use your judgment. I have this awesome garlic press that I love to use. So all you have to do is push this down with both hands, and boom. And then as you press more garlic, it just pushes the rest through. I will link this in the description below. Sometimes I'll go through a second pass just to get it a little finer. It's just so easy to be able to rock back and forth and then get everything off there. Look at that, easy. Then while I'm at it, I'm gonna have to slice an orange, or this is not an orange, this is a lime. I'm gonna have to slice this anyway, so while I got the cutting board out, let me go ahead and get that done. And we're gonna finish this off with lime right at the end. Hi there. All right, so you could do this in any kind of pan or skillet. I'm just using a sauteuse pan because it's a little wider for you to be able to see. But a lot of times I'll do this on my cast iron or even on the Dutch oven. So you want to start out with 3 tablespoons of butter. And we want this to melt because what we're going to do is create a very simple roux, which is a mixture of melted butter and flour. And that's just going to help us kind of thicken everything up, almost like a gravy. All right, so now that the butter's melted, I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of flour. All right, I'll push this around a little bit, and then I'm going to start whisking to incorporate everything together. Now you can go as light or dark as you want with this roux. That's really up to you. Boy, that was really dumb. Okay, that is dark enough for me to go ahead and add in the garlic. I'm just going to stir this in here for a minute, and then I'll add in the poblanos next. I wanted that garlic to get that just nice infused garlic butter flavor first. And then the poblanos, I want them a little bit softer in the recipe, so we're gonna add those next. There we go. Give these a chance to cook too. I'm gonna turn this down just a little bit. Don't want it to thicken too fast. This recipe comes together pretty quick, and you can smell the poblanos, especially because they're fresh ones. They smell so freaking good right now. Okay, so now I'm gonna add in the corn. There we go. And again, we're gonna stir everything together here. The goal is that you want to coat everything with that butter roux that we've got going on here, because that helps basically thicken the entire sauce. All right, now that everything is stirred together here, I'm gonna finish it off. We have a tablespoon of sugar. This just helps kind of sweeten everything, obviously. It's just that touch of the South right there, that little sprinkle of sugar. Now the recipe calls for a little bit of paprika, pepper, and salt. I'm actually just gonna go ahead and use my Sedona sand seasoning because this has all those Southwest flavors in there and it really boosts it up. So I'm gonna add roughly a tablespoon or so of the Sedona sand. We can taste and adjust later, but let's go ahead and get this all stirred in here. And the last step, we have cream, the heavy cream, and this is warm. You do not want to pour cold, heavy cream in here or it's going to slow down the entire process. So give this a stir and let this mix in completely together. That way it's just completely coated with that fatty, sinful flavor. Oh, this is the good stuff right here. Now all you want to do is just cook it for about another 15 minutes. Just make sure that you stir so that that cream doesn't overcook or clump together, and you're pretty much good to go. So important tip to know that if you start to see it bubble like this, you might need to turn down the heat a bit. You definitely don't want the cream to be coming to like a rapid simmer. So just adjust that and turn it down. All right, now that everything's stirred together, definitely important to taste and adjust. It's close, but it definitely needs a little bit of salt, so I'm gonna go ahead, add some salt. You could also add a little bit more of the chili seasoning if you want to. And if you notice if it's getting a little too thick, it's just up to you and how thick you want it or how long you want to cook it. You can add a little bit more cream. The nice thing about this recipe is you could actually keep this on low for hours. The biggest thing is that you want to make sure that there's enough liquid in there. So if you notice, like I said, it's getting low, go ahead and add a little bit more cream. Great tip too, you can prepare this and put it in a crock pot and keep it on the warm setting like indefinitely. This is such a great dish to be able to make ahead of time and serve at a party. So I'm gonna add a little bit more cream in here because I'm gonna cook mine for a little longer. I'm gonna let mine go maybe another 20 minutes or so. We'll come back and check and taste and adjust. All right, so let's go ahead and plate it. I think this is actually the same plate I even used in the cookbook. Not that you care. Well, let's get this poured in here carefully. This is kind of hard to do one-handed, so we're just gonna go ahead and dump it in and pray I don't overflow. Hey, what do you know? It's perfect. Look at that, almost as if I've done it before. All right, now to top it off, I like to add some queso fresco. You can use cotija cheese, just any kind of crumbly Mexican style cheese is good, although I will say I have made this with Parmesan and it's fantastic. So you could top with paprika or any kind of spice that you want. I'm just gonna do a slight sprinkle of Sedona sand on here too, since it's got all those great chilies. Don't wanna go too heavy. That is probably pretty good. Look at that, that looks so good. I'm sure you just wanna dive in or grab a spoon or something. Or those chips. I like to scoop the chips and just kind of eat it like a dip sometimes. If I don't have meat, like right now, that would be nice. I did forget to mention that I stirred in the lime juice right at the end, right before I pulled it in here. So I put in half of a lime, stirred it in. So you should do that. Ah, the beard. It's so creamy, and I'm telling you, that poblano just makes a world of difference. And with a little bit of garlic, all the spices from the Sedona sand, man, if you're gonna make one recipe that I've written, this is the one. What have I done? If you guys like this recipe, don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Cheers.